Hey guys, how are you doing today? Welcome to the channel. Today we are taking a look at world number one golfer Dustin Johnson and what's in his bag for the 2021 season. Now this does feature the brand new TaylorMade Sim 2 driver and fairway woods, as well as some other interesting clubs in his golf bag. Now, Dustin Johnson, obviously world number one, had a good start to the season this week at the Tournament of Champions in Hawaii, seemingly playing pretty good golf, and it looks like he's going to have a pretty good season, coming off an amazing 2020, winning the Masters and a bunch of other stuff as well. So let's dive in, and we're going to start at the top of his bag with the driver. Now, Dustin Johnson has put into his bag the brand new TaylorMade Sim 2 Max driver. Now, we've just done a bunch of videos talking all about the Sim 2 drivers and the Sim 2 Max and everything you need to know. So if you don't know about these brand new clubs from TaylorMade, I highly recommend checking out some of the videos on my channel, and you will be able to get some more information, a good up-close look at these golf clubs. But that's what he's got in the bag, the TaylorMade Sim 2 Max. He has this in a 10.5 degree driver head, and this is something to bear in mind that a lot of tour players are starting to do, but also through Dustin's bag, is it looks like he's really trying to add loft. Now, this could be to try and add loft and lower spin, so it's going to enable him to hit the ball even further than he already does. But he's definitely looking to add loft with this driver. 10.5 for most tour professionals is quite a lot of loft. You know, if we're talking about Bryson DeChambeau, I think he uses something like, I think it's between 4 and 6 degrees. Something like that. It might be, I know he was using an 8-degree driver for a while, but I think he's lowered it even more to about 5 or 6 degrees, just absolutely ridiculous. So 10.5 is quite a lot of loft, bearing that in mind. Now, moving into the 3-wood, Dustin Johnson has the TaylorMade Sim 2 3-wood, but what's interesting about this as well, similarly to the driver, is he has this in the 3HL, it's called. So stands for high launch. So it's actually at 16.5 degrees. So it's kind of a little bit more like a 4-wood actually in terms of loft. So again, we're seeing this trend of adding more loft, and we continue that trend as we move into Dustin's next club. And it's not a hybrid, it's not a 5-wood, it's actually a 7-wood. It's the TaylorMade Sim Max in 21 degrees. So this is last year's model. So it's a 7-wood of the previous generation, 21 degrees. I don't know many tour pros that carry a 7-wood in their golf bag. So he's obviously trying to launch the ball as high as possible, which is very interesting because I always thought of Dustin as a pretty high ball hitter. So clearly he's trying to hit it even higher. Now moving into the irons, we have the TaylorMade P730 irons. We have this in 3-iron to pitching wedge. Now what's interesting about these irons is that they're quite old. I'm pretty sure they're about 5 years old now. I'm not sure, it will be interesting, obviously we just saw the kind of release of the TaylorMade P7MB irons. It will be very interesting to see if he maybe tinkers with those and tries to add those to the bag. If not, then there must be a reason for that. He might prefer the shape of these irons, prefer the look of them down at the ball. Clearly they're doing a very good job because he's number one golfer in the world. So maybe he just doesn't want to change too much because he's worried about how it might affect his performance, which is fair enough. Now, he only has 2 wedges in the bag. He has the milled grind wedges in a 52 degree and a 60 degree. This is quite interesting because Dustin Johnson has worked on his wedge game for a long time now and really improved it over the last 4 or 5 years or so. And you know, we see a lot of good wedge players having 3 or 4 wedges in the bag, but clearly Dustin feels he's good enough with his wedges and distance control that he only needs those 2 wedges in the bag, and he would rather have that 3 iron and have that extra club at the other end of the bag to give him a little bit more control over distance. So into the putter now. He has the Spider IB Tour Limited putter. Now, that's pretty interesting. He's used the kind of same putter for quite a while now. He's won a bunch of different tournaments with it. This is obviously the original Spider in that black finish, and I have used this putter before and it is a great putter. So obviously he has tested out some other putters. We've seen him using a blade putter before and some other mini Spiders and stuff, but he always seems to be going back to that Spider black putter, and it clearly works for him because his putting has improved a huge amount. In the golf ball, Dustin uses the TaylorMade TP5X golf ball, which is no real surprise. He's used this for quite a long time, along with the likes of Rory McIlroy and a bunch of other tour pros as well. So that's Dustin's bag. You can take a look at it here, and it's pretty interesting to see some of the clubs that he's putting into play this year. It will be very interesting to, as we get further into the season and more products get released, basically to see what gets added to these tour players' bags, what they're using, what they're not using. I always find that's quite a good indication of what products maybe are good for us to test out as well. If a lot of tour players are adding the Sim 2 Max to the bag, maybe that's going to be a really good club for this year and worth a test. So let me know what you guys think of that. Definitely a very interesting look into Dustin's bag. A lot of unique clubs in there with the 7 wood and extra loft with some of the woods. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more. Next we are taking a look at Colin Morikawa's golf bag. So if you want to see that video, make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you in the next one, guys. As always, grip it and rip it.